Tonight on DC News Now, improving living conditions after years of complaints, how the DC Council is voting to make a change. And more answers tonight after a man was charged in a quadruple murder. Police are telling us how they were able to connect the suspect. Also, student loan application open. When can you expect to see those changes? And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 5. I'm Mark Hall, taking a live look outside where temperatures are sitting just above 50 degrees, but we are preparing for some frost and freeze alerts. Meteorologist Scott Sumner joins us with a check on the forecast. And Scott, I have to tell you that really this morning it felt like winter, but we did have a nice warm up considering how cold it was earlier.
I know. You and I took a little brisk walk out there this afternoon just to refresh ourselves and get us into that mode here. And yeah, that autumnal feel is definitely out there right now and will continue to be so throughout the night tonight. All right, Mark, let's look at those cold alerts. And my goodness, we got a lot of them here, folks. We got frost advisories. In fact, for D.C. and the surrounding area, still there is the growing season going on here in and around the district. So National Weather Service has issued that frost advisory. And then we have freeze warnings. Now, I did mention last night they were back off to the west. They were going to be pushing east. Sure enough, they have pushed east. And now we're looking at northern Loudoun County, for example, and into the eastern panhandle of West Virginia. We're looking at Fauquier County and then up towards Frederick County, Maryland, where there are freeze warnings, which means those temperatures are going to get down there. And it's not just our backyard. It's everywhere. I counted about 20 states here that are under either freeze warnings, frost advisories, or freeze watches. This is a cold, cold spell that we're under here, and it does extend all the way down to Atlanta, the deep south. They're shivering down there. All right, getting back locally here, Washington, D.C., we'd have to top out at or bottom out at 30 degrees tonight to actually tie a record. Don't think that's going to happen here. Hagerstown, 26 degrees. Now, Winchester at 28 degrees, Martinburg at 28 degrees. You might be flirting with a couple of records overnight tonight. We'll see all about that here locally. Right now, though, we're into the 50s and some 40s. D.C. at 54, Waldorf at 54, Lexington Park coming in at 57 degrees. Out towards the mountains, 44 at Kaiser, 46 at Cumberland, Woodstock sitting at 52 degrees. And yeah, the winds are out there. They have been during the afternoon, and they're going into be out there this evening. Right now, Kaiser 19 miles an hour, 22 at Leesburg, 22 at D.C. with a westerly wind out there. So tonight, if you're going out walking the dog, Fido, yeah, Fido's got some fur, so Fido isn't really being impacted here, but you may be. So 40s and 50s, a mixture of sun and clouds out there. That autumnal chill is going to be seen. And what about our neighbors up in Frederick County, Maryland? Speaking of Frederick, yeah, 47 at 7 p.m., 40 at 9 p.m., 38 by 11 p.m. We'll break it down further with what we'll see as far as the 7-day forecast. And there is possibly a few snow flurries in the forecast. I'll tell you where coming up.
Scott, thank you. Well, breaking news, we just confirmed the deputy director of the D.C. Housing Authority has resigned. Victor Martinez, we're told, submitted his resignation in September. His last day with the agency was October 7th. And his resignation came ahead of the scathing report from from HUD on terrible D.C. public housing conditions. And developing now, the D.C. Council just approved an emergency bill meant to improve living conditions for those residents. DC News Now's Annalisa Gale is joining us in the newsroom with the latest on the City Council's plans to change that. Annalisa.
Yes, Mark, we expected that vote today as we continue to hear council members criticizing the D.C. Housing Authority following that HUD report. Now we know this change will now provide more oversight and training for that agency that has had issues for years.
I visited a public housing building for seniors in my ward over the summer, where only 6 of the 22 units were presently occupied. 6 out of the 22 units.
Residents talk about the mice that ran through their apartments. I talked with one resident who has duct taped their kitchen cabinets to try to help keep the mice from coming into the kitchen.
Issues when you flush and just water leaking from one apartment to the next. And we as a council, as a branch of government, even the executive, have a duty to ensure that residents are living in healthy living conditions.
A day after DC News Now asked Mayor Bowser about the council's frustrations with the DC Housing Authority. What are your thoughts on that?
I've spoken to that already.
The DC Council voted to take action implementing emergency legislation in response to a federal audit, which found that the DC Housing Authority is mismanaged, has irregular inspections for units, lacks effective safety measures for affordable homes provided to DC residents, and more.
The vote will be on PR 24-980. Madam Secretary, would you call the roll?
Councilmember McDuffie?
Yes.
The emergency bill will increase training requirements for the DC Housing Authority's Board of Commissioners, require frequent reporting on housing conditions.
The bill before us today sets earlier deadlines for completing training and a penalty for board members who failed to do so.
We've got to fix this, and we've got to fix it now.
Director Donald has had the last 14 months to develop a plan and to address the inadequacies in our public housing, and unfortunately has failed to do so effectively.
Now, we do know that the DC Housing Authority's Board of Commissioners is scheduled to meet on November 9th at 1 p.m. and an agenda will be shared 48 hours before. In the newsroom, Annalisa Gale, DC News Now.
Annalisa, thank you. Well, take a look. Frederick police are searching for this bank robbery suspect. They say he entered a Wells Fargo bank on Warman's Mill Road, told staff that he had a weapon, and demanded money. The suspect did walk away with an undisclosed amount of cash. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. A 24-year-old man has been arrested and charged with 4 counts of murder after allegedly killing 4 adults inside of their home in Woodbridge, Virginia on Monday. 3 of the victims were family members, and here's what we know so far. Police identified the suspect as Daniel Nathaniel Main, who also lived inside the home.
This is horrific. Every adjective that you can use to describe a tragedy, you can use to describe what happened here last night.
According to the police chief, Miguel Flores, 44, and his wife Kelly Sotelo, 42, were recently married. Their 19-year-old daughter, Carrie Sotelo, was also killed, along with a 4th resident, 37-year-old Richard Corrales. The police confirmed at least 3 of the victims were shot to death. A firearm was recovered on the scene, though police are not yet revealing the exact weapon that was used. Police say Maine is the one who dialed 911 Monday afternoon to report that someone had shot into the home, but investigators say that his information didn't add up and that he was trying to elude police. Police detained the suspect near the Woodbridge home without incident. After assessing the scene, investigators say they found enough probable cause to arrest Maine. No motive has been established, and police say they are in the beginning stages of the investigation and that Maine had no previous criminal record.
You know, this guy has been charged. My hope is that he never ever sees the light of day again.
And we're learning more about what happened inside the Dale City home. Our Northern Virginia reporter, Max Marcilla, continues our live team coverage from outside the Prince William County Courthouse. Max, you pulled the court docs. What have you learned?
Well, the main thing that the court documents shared was a little bit of what happened inside that home, specifically where the victims were found. You mentioned there were 4 victims. 1 was found in the basement, 1 in the kitchen, 1 in the master bedroom, and 1, Kelly Sotelo, was actually found in the suspect's bedroom. Now, she was found, according to the court documents, in a state of undress. Most of those victims had shell casings in the room where they were found. Now, records don't share any details on the potential relationships outside of the fact that we know Maine lived in the house with the victims, but we don't know as far as any personal relationship they shared beyond being residents of the same home. Now, physical evidence, that's still a big question, not made clear by court documents what police and law enforcement and the prosecutors have, but we do know a little bit about why police were able to bring the charges against him. Besides the fact that they found him at the scene after he made the 911 call, police say that there was an eyewitness who connected Maine as the shooter in this crime. Now, we are working to learn more about one other set of charges, a reckless possession of a firearm that Maine was charged with last year, but earlier this year those charges were dropped. We're still working to learn more on those charges, and of course, as we learn more on this very active and early investigation, we'll be sure to bring them to you on air and online. Reporting live from Manassas, Max Marcella, DC News Now.
Max, thank you. Well, as the midterms loom, both parties are making promises of what they will do and what they will avoid if they can control Congress. Republicans are promising to bring down inflation if they retake Congress, placing the blame on rising costs on the Biden administration. Meanwhile, the president held a rally in D.C. earlier today saying that if Democrats kept control of the Senate, he promised something Democrats have been asking for.
If we do that, here's the promise I make to you and the American people. The first bill that I will send to the Congress will be to codify Roe v. Wade.
Well, the president is scheduled to give a speech tomorrow on gas prices and new efforts his administration is doing to help bring fuel prices down. Well, millions of Americans have already applied for federal student loan relief, with thousands of dollars poised to be erased for borrowers. DC News Now's consumer reporter Ben Dennis has been taking their questions straight to the source. And Ben, what are you learning?
Hey there, Mark. While the Biden administration has launched this application for up to $20,000 in student loan relief, there's still no known timeline for when consumers will see it, nor is it known if relief comes before federal loan repayments resume in January. Up to $10,000 of federal loans could be wiped clean for people making $125,000 or less annually. Relief increases up to $20K for people who received Pell Grants. So, are you sure if you received one of those? Well, the FAFSA website will tell borrowers if they did and how much they got at studentaid.gov. The U.S. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona said 8 million people applied over the weekend when applications first launched and for beta testing. Among them, right here, Erin Swager. I caught up with her in Southeast D.C. today. While happy to have relief, she's still hoping for questions to get answered.
It's hard for me to plan for a future when I don't know how much debt I'll be in and for how long. I can't escape it. I feel like it's just going to be with me until I die. The biggest question, already having applied, is what is the timeline I can expect for when I'll get that relief? I know the deadline is coming up for when the payment pause ends, and people who have loans will have to continue repaying them.
Here's one timeline that we do know on the record. The deadline to apply is December of 2023, next year. And it only takes a short amount of time, up to several minutes. What questions you'll be asked? More ahead at 6. Ben Dennis, back to you.